want to know about strength, you just gotta get to it. We fighting fools are all getting to it on the streets. Street Fighter 6.
Yo, what's up guys? It's Nigel here, and today I'm back with another video talking about how to counter Luke. Now, me personally, I think Luke is probably an A or an S tier character, judging by how good he is in the corner. Like, him in the corner, it's kind of a nightmare. He's really good at keeping himself at a good distance and also making you press a button and then executing off of that. So I think that is one of the reasons why he's really good. And he has pretty much everything: projectile, invincible uppercut, good projectile, mind you. Like, it's even with a Guile still has better projectiles, but even still, he still has some really good ones, and he can recover really fast too. So yeah, and even a projectile invincibility move if you add armor to that, or EX, I mean. And can also jump over low fireball projectiles too. So overall, pretty scary type of guy to go up against, right? Now, what are some ways you can? I'm gonna teach you some ways you can counter him in a sense, or you know, not getting put into a situation or what not to press, because in corner, you can't really do too much against Luke, honestly. So first, I want to talk about corner, a Pacific string exactly, which is heavy punch, heavy sandblast. Now, there is things you cannot do. I'm gonna show you some of them. I'm gonna show you a few. You cannot do any jab normal, so you can't do pretty much light punch, medium punch, heavy punch, light kick, medium kick, heavy kick. Oh, just this is entire row. You cannot do anything. You cannot do any of this. You're stuck because you're still stunned from the initial heavy punch. That's why. But what you can do is actually do Shoryuken EX. Like, if you have a reversal that's invincible, that's something you can use. You can also use a level 2 as well, or a level 3 to get out of that situation too. Like so. Depending if your level 2's projectile invincible, I should probably mention that. So, for instance, Ken's not, so the best thing he could do is his level 3. So, any invincible thing that's not, you know, projectile, like that can go through projectiles, you're perfectly fine. Because some people's level 1 and 2 are not invincible to projectiles. They're invincible to strike attacks, so it's something to watch out for too. So, level 3, uppercut invincible, or there's another one which I'm going to show you, but I have to switch to Luke here. Drive reversal. That's another thing you do. Because he already's throwing the projectile and you just kick him. It gives you some good distance to do whatever you want. Jump, drive reversal. Drive rush, So, you do have options there. There's technically 3, but some characters only have 2 because not every character in the game has an uppercut. And also, I've tried this before. You cannot even, if he does this, you can't command grab him. You're not, because you're still in block. You cannot do that either. So it's really a really tough situation overall if he does heavy sandblast. You got 2 options essentially if you want to get out. The next block string I want to talk about is anything that's cancelable with medium kick, because they're probably going to try to get you to try to do this in the corner because it has good spacing, because it brings them closer to you. It also pushes them away so he can do a projectile safely. So the same thing that I said before still applies. So you still can level 3, you still can do an invincible uppercut, like so you still can do this, and it doesn't matter which version he throws out. But when it comes to the buttons, that changes a little bit. So if I were to do, let's say, medium kick, heavy sandblast, you can actually stop me with light punch. If I do medium sandblast though, I actually punish you. So determining what sandblast he does, because there is this time, so as you see when I do it, there's a bit of a start up there, like fast, which is, this is light, medium, and then heavy. So if you can determine which one he does, you can actually punish him. Also, a thing you want to watch out for too is trying to do that. You can't drive impact it either if he does medium. If he did heavy, you still can't either. Or light. That also goes from as well what I was saying with this. You cannot stop that either. So I forgot to mention that actually. As long as they have good timing, they can still block in time because he is -2. Also for that too. But you can stop anything that's heavy with that. Otherwise, if they do a light, they're still going to be in block. But it's still punishable though. So he can't block after light because I believe light is -8. So yeah, that's a punish. That goes for also standing light punch too. So if you were Ken or something, technically you could do, oops, you could drive reversal after that, but I'm not sure what you should get. Probably could just go for an uppercut or something, or just to get out the corner, or you could just drive rush, grab, you know, whatever you want to do, honestly. Also, one more thing I forgot to mention too, as well, about the everything. You actually can parry it. If you can perfect parry it and punish him. I don't know why I didn't mention that, and that goes also for this too, for the medium kick. Don't know why I forgot about that, but you also can parry. So parry is not useless in this game, so make sure to use that to your advantage there. But yeah. Next, I want to talk about his medium kick. Now, it's a situation where a lot of the times, if you see them do medium kick, because they're going to do something like this, and then they're still going to be able to medium kick you, and then jump right in. The best option you have for that, depending if they don't predict you, is actually just to jump. So you can jump them, and then punish them with a cross-up or something, if they press a button. Because they're going to, it's going to move, whatever button they do is going to move them forward, as you see. But they can predict that, and obviously uppercut you, but no one necessarily does it unless they know you. That's like mind games type of stuff, so that's another option you could do after that. Because they can't jab you or anything like that, or just hit you with a medium kick. They have to press another button, otherwise they're just jumping out. Unless they predict you, they could just do that, but otherwise there's no really anything else you can do, because even you can't even do your invincible move on it, because he's technically safe. It pushes him far enough back to not get hit by an initial part and block, and then that leaves him with a punish wherever he sees fit. So watch out for that. You can't even level 3 it either, so don't try that too. Now next, I wanted to talk about just any of the buttons I said previously before, just in the screen. Now since Luke moves forward a little bit, he actually extends his hurt box a little bit. So say for instance, we're gonna set the computer to something. I think this is one of the settings, I believe, so let me just check. So if Luke were to, say, just throw this out in neutral or something, right? Or even this. If they press a button on it, they can get a punish counter on it. So if he just throws this out in neutral, you can punish him, because his moves, they move forward a little bit, and they extend out. It is a risk, but the reason why Luke's press that normally move these out is because they're good buttons, and they lead to big damaging combos, as you see right here. So it's something you want to watch out for, because they can really mess you up with that. So try to bait them out, or not bait them out, wait for them to press a button, and then punish it. And then you could do something of your choosing. It doesn't matter what, because his buttons do linger out a little bit. Alright, next I want to talk about Luke's fireball game. Luke's fireball game, as you know, even through the corner, is really good. Now mid-screen, it is also very excellent as well. But you can easily jump over Luke's fireballs and punish him, as you see here. Any of them work. So try to do that as much as often. I know this is a little bit of a beginner thing, but if you see Luke's just doing this over and over again, what you want to do is actually watch out for them waiting a second, because say for instance they've been doing this the entire game, they're just waiting for you to jump to uppercut you. So try not to fall prey for that. If need be, what you should do is actually just walk and just take this parry it like that. If you can predict any of his fireballs and just move forward, try to do that if you can, because, well, this goes for any character for future reference, by the way. Make sure to not just block anything, because like I showed you before with the corner situation with Luke, obviously he's really impressive, but did you see that chunk that he took out of your drive gauge there? That's pretty scary, and you don't want to be in that situation in Burnout. Especially with Luke. Luke can be really plus, especially if he ever lands heavy flash knuckle. I think he's like +8 on that, or +6. You do not want that. That's like Marissa type of frame data right there. Really quickly, I also wanted to mention that with any grappler character out there, if he does press a button, it does extend his range, so you can grab him if you're, Ugh. There you go. I did the wrong version. You want to press, obviously, light on that, which gives you more range. Then you can grab him. If you EX, it just makes it better. So if he does extend out his buttons, you can grab him and punish him on that. If you're good enough. As you see, it's not the easiest thing, but you can do it because it extends his body. And this goes for any of his kicks mainly, but specifically his neutral medium kick gets to the really bad end of the stick here, but crouching medium kick does get it too, obviously. So that's something else I wanted to mention. If you're a grappler user like Zangief or Lily, you can grab them out of it if they do any of the kicks mid-screen for neutral, which I don't know why they would do that, but if your opponent does, you can punish it. Medium punch or crouching medium punch. I don't believe it decreases his range that much, as you can see. Like, it's kind of hard for me to just grab him. I'm not really getting anything here, even with EX, so I don't think it increases that much at all, which is kind of surprising, but that's one of his best normals. So another thing I wanted to mention about Luke as well, this is something that I've actually done to a lot of people, as if, say for instance, your opponent does this. They do drive impact, right? Like, say for instance, you're about to charge up the heavy flash knuckle, right? If for any reason, you think you have them, they don't have a projectile or whatnot or whatever, right? And they're like, oh, I guessed it, right? You're gonna drive impact, or not drive impact, you're gonna have your flash knuckle, right? And I got you. They do, but if the Luke does have level 3, they can cancel out of it. So whenever a Luke does that, your best option, honestly, really is to press a button. So if any Luke does that, just press a button. You can stop them by just simply pressing a button if they do heavy flash knuckle. So heavy flash knuckle, stopped it. It's not a punish counter, but it is good. It's just a good counter. And depending on the character, whatever normal they have, because you could do it with crouching obviously too. I just didn't show it, but you can probably do something like that and then get a combo. So if he does anything reckless like this, just dab him out of it. Honestly, that's something you can also do to counter that move particularly. There's one more thing, which is if you are throwing a fireball at Luke, you want to be cautious of that as well. It's only because of Luke's the simple fact that Luke can Luke can armor over it. Now, depending on some characters, oh my bad, that's a replay. Depending on some characters, he can like Jury, since he has a low fireball, he can jump over it. So you want to be careful of that, Jury player as well. But you can probably have a game plan with that because your fireball is really slow and you can move with it. Or same with Gao. But his is obviously above, so he can't jump over it. But depending on what you do with your character, like say for instance you throw a fireball, and if he does that, technically he can get some really big damage by doing that into level 2. So be careful with throwing your fireballs. If you think Luke is going to do this, the tackle, what you want to do is you want to EX it, because this has only one thing of armor. Otherwise, he can get level 2, or even he can also get level 3. So that's also something to be cautious for when you're throwing projectiles. So watch out for that as well. But that is pretty much all I wanted to talk about Luke, of some of the things that the way you can stop him. This is honestly mainly for corner, because a lot of times when you deal with Luke, you'll deal with the mid screen of course, but once he gets a lucky hit in, you're going to be in the corner. He's not a rush down character, but he can get you started. He can get you in the corner really easily. So that is something to watch out for this character. But like I said, you have a few options to stop this, even though it's really good. But if they predict you from doing like the options I said, they can mess you up. But that's all the options you have for the corner, honestly, for Luke, if he throws a projectile. Because most Lukes are not going to do move flash knuckle, because if they do that, you can punish them. Like any Luke, you can punish them if they do something flash knuckle, if they're charging it especially. Like that, that's a no-go. That's not even me charging, that's just me pressing it. This, they can do that, but they're not safe. And then medium, if depending on what you do, they can back up far enough and not get hit, depending. But most of his moves punish counter if he does flash knuckle. So just press any light button, and then you got him for that. But the fireballs, you have like I said, depending on your character, 3 options, or some even more, depending on your character. But it's either reversal, like I said, or invincible uppercut again, and drive reversal. But yeah, that is all I wanted to talk about. I'm probably gonna make like a video about Luke and how to use him a little bit. Maybe I might do that. I'm not sure. Maybe you might see that. But I just made this video. I think I'm gonna do a series on how to like stop characters and letting them get started, essentially, because there's certain telltale signs of what characters do. Like I said, for Luke, this would be that heavy sandblast or heavy punch and heavy sandblast in the corner. You see that all the time. So let's see if we can figure out ways to stop certain characters from getting started. So I hope that this does benefit you. I hope it does. And yeah, that's all for this video. I hope you guys have a great day, night, noon, whatever time period you guys live at, man. And I will see you guys next time.